Fear. We all face it. It creeps into our minds in different ways. What if I fail this exam? What if I lose my job? What if the doctor's report is bad? What if my future doesn't work out? Fear always begins with, what if? But faith answers with, even if. Even if the outcome isn't what I expected, God is still good. God is still faithful. God is still in control. Psalm 56 verse 3 says, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you." Notice it doesn't say, if I am afraid, because fear is real. But it gives us a choice. Stay in fear or shift into faith. Let me share a story. A little boy was walking home with his father late one evening. The road was dark, and the boy whispered, "Dad, I'm scared." His father reached out his hand and said, "Hold on to me." The boy replied, "But I might let go if I get too afraid." And the father answered, "Then I'll hold on to you." My grip is stronger than yours. That's what faith really is. It's not pretending you're not scared. It's knowing that even when you're trembling, God's hand won't let go. We see this all through Scripture. Daniel faced the lion's den. Fear said, "What if the lions devour me?" But faith said, "Even if they do, I will not bow to fear." And God shut the lions' mouths. Moses stood at the Red Sea with Pharaoh's army behind him. Fear said, "What if we drown?" Faith said, "Even if the sea is before us, God will make a way." And the waters parted. Peter stepped out of the boat to walk on water. Fear said, "What if I sink?" But faith said, "Even if I fall, Jesus will catch me." And when Peter began to sink, Christ's hand was right there to pull him up. And let's bring it to daily life. Fear says, "What if I lose everything?" Faith says, "Even if I do, God will provide." Fear says, "What if no one loves me?" Faith says, "Even if people leave me, God never will." Fear says, "What if I fail?" Faith says, "Even if I fail, God can turn my failure into victory." Faith is not the absence of fear. It's trusting God in the middle of fear. When a storm hits your life, fear tells you to panic, but faith reminds you, "Peace, be still." When Goliath stands before you, fear shouts, "He's too big to defeat." But faith declares, "He's too big to miss." So today, whatever your what if is, put it in God's hands. If fear says, "What if you can't?" Faith says, "God can." If fear says, "What if it all falls apart?" Faith says, "Even if it does, God can rebuild it stronger." You serve the God who shut lions' mouths, who split the sea, who walks on water, and who conquered death itself. So don't walk in fear, walk in faith, not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. Faith over fear, always.